All right, fam, it is conference season. So we're going to talk all things conferences, and I've got kind of a controversial hot take. Are you ready? So if you have ever attended a conference for your business and you walked away feeling like it was a complete waste of money, chances are it was not the conference. It was how you showed up. I see it all the time. I speak at a lot of different conferences throughout the year, and people spend a lot of money. They show up halfway. They focus on the flaws, and then they wonder why their business isn't growing. So today, all of that changes because we're going to go through some practical mindset shifts and some tips to help you squeeze every last drop out of that ROI for any conference you attend. So I want you to sit back, relax, hang out with me for a little bit, and let's get into it. Woo! What's up, and welcome to the Speak Organized podcast. I'm Melanie Summers, your professional organizer, ADHD organizing specialist, and the go-to gal for all things pro-organizing business. I like to speak organized to give you the tools to conquer your clutter, live life with more purpose, and learn all about the business of tidying. Now, if you have not done this already, go ahead and take out your device and tap that subscribe button so that you become a member of the Speaker family. We're going to have so much fun together. And if you get value out of today's lesson, video, podcast, however you are consuming this content today, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and tap that thumbs up and the little notification bell, and that way you're notified whenever we post new content on the YouTube channel. If you're brand new to all of this and you're looking for a community, a place where you can ask questions and get really good answers from established organizers and organizing enthusiasts in the field, I want you to go down to the description of the video on the podcast show notes, and that is where you can join my free Facebook group. It is full of thousands of folks who are eager and willing to answer any and all of your questions and be that tribe that you are looking for as you go down this journey.
The main mission here at I Speak Organized is to give you the best quality tools and resources to level up your business and have a truly successful 6 or 7-figure business that doesn't suck away all of your time. So if you're brand new to all of this and it seems very overwhelming, you don't really know where to start, you have come to the right place. I am your go-to gal for all things pro-organizing business. If you're afraid that you aren't enough, like you don't have enough experience or you don't really have the goods to bring to the table to charge what other people charge or whatever story you happen to be telling yourself, I am here to help you understand that you can be exceptional with the right tools and training. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how I can help you with that. But in the meantime, let's get into this juicy interview.
All right, so the first part of this is just getting our mind right. And these are just some simple reminders. A lot of the stuff are things that we already know, but sometimes just putting the words to it and thinking about it from a slightly different perspective can make all of the difference in how you experience something. And so often people get really hung up on the price tag of a ticket to a conference. They can be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on which one you go to. And we get really stuck on that alone. And we forget that conferences are an investment, just like everything else in our business. They're not a vacation. And I know that you're sitting there being like, yeah, no duh, I know that. But in subtle ways, we kind of forget and we treat it like it should be a vacation. For instance, like we get really hung up on little inconveniences like the bad coffee, the tight schedules, that one speaker that you just did not vibe with. I've been accused of that from time to time. And we forget that there's massive value sitting right in front of us because we're choosing to focus on the little inconveniences of the environment. So, yes, the tickets cost money, but so does every tool in your business. And this one comes with a group of people who have already been where you want to be, like what you're trying to do. And it's really all about the opportunities that you seize in the moment and how you take advantage of them. So there's going to be vendors there. There's going to be sponsors there. And a lot of people neglect and even ignore that fact and don't see the potential for a vendor partnership or a sponsorship for your business that's going to help you grow and expand and diversify your income stream. I have an entire lesson in my membership program where I dive really deep into how to build those partnerships. And I teach my members really how to leverage that strategy. And the way that that gets done is at a conference. And you're going to meet some really, really amazing people. And if you're not the best with networking, in just a little bit, we're going to talk about ways ways to kind of help you break the ice and feel prepared in a networking environment, because maybe you haven't done it very much. And it's a skill just like anything else, just like organizing. Organizing is a skill that you teach to your clients over time, and a skill that you develop to enact in a professional capacity on behalf of your clients as well. And networking is just the same. It's a skill that you can learn to develop, even if you're introverted. And this is a huge, maybe shock, surprise to people. I'm actually extremely introverted, and I use my YouTube channel and my podcast and my speaking as a way to sort of like face that head on. And it's a way for me to give back to the community, because when I feel like I am giving back and providing value and really investing in that environment, it makes it easier for me to overcome that introversion. And the same thing goes for you as an attendee of the conference. You will be able to overcome those little inconveniences if you're kind of focusing more on the pieces that will help you grow, the investment aspect of it. So I want you to go into it thinking, instead of what's bothering me about XYZ situation, what can I leverage from this situation? What is the takeaway from this? What am I hearing over and over again that I maybe haven't implemented before? Or how can I approach this in a new way, or meet a new vendor, or have some sort of goal outcome? I think sometimes people don't really know what to expect when they come to a conference. So we're going to talk about how to set some goals so that you have a very clear outcome and actionable strategy when you leave the conference. All right, now I want to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit and give you an understanding of why conferences cost what they do. And there's a huge misconception about the price being what it is, and the people throwing the conference are making all this money, and they're just like, it's all, the money's all over the floor, and they're just, making snow angels. And I know nobody actually thinks that, but some people might think that this is just a cash cow for the people putting on the conference. And unfortunately, that's not the case. And so another misconception is that all the speakers are just there to sell you stuff. And that is true in part. And I want to explain from a speaker's perspective why that's the case. So the structure of it, you have to pay for venue. You have to pay for the utilities essentially, because there's going to be microphones, lights, there's going to be screens, a lot of technology that's involved. So there's going to be tech setup that needs to be accounted for, that you're essentially renting out from the venue. So maybe you're renting screens, you're renting cables, you're renting microphones, all those different things. Those all have a pretty significant cost for the person who's putting on, or the organization that's putting on the conference. So that's part of it. And in order to be able to fund that, a lot of people are putting up their own money up front, and the ticket cost generally covers most of that. And also meals. Most of the time, you're being fed meals, and coming up with all of the meals for each day, accounting for dietary restrictions and all these different things, all the little variables that go into it, all the planning and the back end. Just like you running your business, it's not just you showing up to the client's home and snapping your fingers like Mary Poppins and making, clothes fold by themselves and go into the drawer and it's magic, yay. That's not what we're doing. There's obviously so much more that goes into it behind the scenes. And so you have to kind of put that perspective lens on the people putting on the conference and all of the different things that kind of go into it behind the scenes before anybody hits the floor. That's why there are sponsors. So sometimes speakers will sponsor an event, so they'll actually pay to come to the event. Generally speaking, vendors are going to sponsor the event and have an opportunity to speak. So it's an incentive for them to be able to promote their business by paying to have a spot. And so in exchange for paying to have a spot, a booth at the event and be able to speak on stage or whatever it happens to be, you'll see a lot of companies do that, like the Container Store. Sometimes entire companies will sponsor and host the event, or they'll host a party, like M Design, like a product company will host a party for the event in exchange for exposure. And that's just kind of how it works. That's how it gives everybody some value. The conference is able to fund what they need to be able to have all the technology and the meals and the space and everything else, any swag that they're going to buy for us, all those things. And the vendors get to have that visibility. Speakers sometimes are a little bit different. we generally will get a stipend of some kind, maybe some travel, hotel, and all of that. So the conferences have to pay for the speakers to be there and pay their fees if they're doing a fee structure. They don't always do that. And so if a speaker isn't getting paid to speak, or they're taking a very significant decrease in that fee, then they're allowed to promote a program in exchange for coming and providing value. I don't know if you've ever put a presentation together, if you speak at a mom's group or to a group of realtors. If you do, and you do that on a regular basis, like I do, then you know the hours and hours and hours and hours and hours that go into preparing a really well-paced, value-packed speaking presentation. So when I get ready to speak at a conference, it takes weeks to prepare. And so that's a lot of time cost for me. So if I'm not getting paid to speak, I'm not necessarily going to want to go and speak at a conference unless there's an incentive of some kind for all of that hard work that I've put into it to bring value to the people that come. So they allow us to pitch our programs and things like that. And I've heard criticisms in the past where people say, I feel like it's all just one big sales pitch. And so yeah, that is true to a degree, but I feel like it's helpful for you to know why that's the case. So again, you can focus on the value that you're getting versus the kind of little inconveniences. A good speaker is going to provide a ton of value up front with a little pitch at the end, somewhere in there. And the pitch for that is probably going to be something that is very valuable to your business if it's the right fit, that you then have something that you can invest in to help propel your business to the next level. If you're afraid to invest in your business and spend the time and money and effort that is necessary to grow your business, then I don't understand how we think that our clients are going to see fit to invest in us either. If you don't see fit to invest in your business, your clients won't. And that's just how it is at the end of the day. So hopefully that kind of just gives you a little bit of perspective. And now I want to kind of dive into some practical tips on how to take full advantage of the conference setting, even if you're introverted. Okay, so let's go through the step-by-steps of taking full advantage. And the first one, I'm gonna just kind of go through these. I don't want this video to be forever. If you want more in-depth understanding of how to really take advantage of this, consider joining my membership program where you can really dive deep into how to maximize these strategies. But for the sake of respecting your time, we're gonna kind of just do the 30,000 foot bird's eye view here. Okay, so the first thing is, and a lot of people skip this, keep track of your expenses for everything, your flight, your hotel, your meals if you're paying for that stuff, any little thing. You go to the pharmacy and buy Advil, keep your receipts for that because that is all a tax-deductible expense for your business. This is money that you can expense to your business. The cost of the ticket, all of those different things. A lot of people forget that and they're like, I am spending all this money versus remembering that it's an investment. It's a tax-deductible investment and I need to make sure that I have my expenses organized, cataloged, and ready to submit and when I do my bookkeeping and all that. So keep track of your expenses the whole time. That's number one. Number two, prepare ahead of time. So my strategy for this is to write down 3 burning questions that you want answered, because I'm not going to say it's a free coaching opportunity because obviously you paid to be there, but it is an opportunity to get coaching from a lot of really smart and reputable, successful 6 and 7 figure business owners. And you can ask them any question you want. And sometimes it's hard to think of the questions in the moment. Maybe you will come up with something, but I would prepare 3 burning questions that you want answered and then take a look at who is speaking and figure out who might be best to answer those questions for you. So that's the first thing. Research those speakers and sponsors and find who you want to connect with. All right, fam, imagine this. You are sitting here in 6 months, sitting right where you are now, and you're running your own professional organizing business that is effortlessly scaling to 6 figures. How awesome would that be? But let me guess, you're sitting here today and you've got that voice of imposter syndrome whispering in your ear, who am I to do this? Well, let me tell you, I have been there, and it is not only possible to overcome those doubts, it is essential because your future clients are looking for you, not anybody else, you. So How do you scale a six-figure business? It's easy. You stick with me. I got you. It is my honor to introduce you to my Empowered Organizer membership community, which is a game changer for turning your passion into, if you want, a full-time six-figure gig. We've got done-for-you scripts and resources, collaborative monthly coaching calls, and a supportive community to fast-track your success by avoiding all the superfluous fluff and, of course, all the dumb mistakes that I've made over the years so that you don't have to make the same ones. You're welcome. Head to melaniesummerscoaching.com/empowered-organizer to learn more and enroll today. And don't worry, it's kind of like your favorite streaming subscription service. You can cancel anytime and renew when you want. And if that weren't convincing enough, let me give you just a little taste of the treasure trove that you'll find when you head to ispeakorganized.com/courses. First, you'll definitely want to check out my Overbooked course, packed with golden nuggets to help you get clients and fill your calendar so that you can work full-time as a professional organizer. Or if you need a little personalized guidance, my one-on-one coaching sessions are perfect for getting your most burning questions answered, helping you move forward confidently. Or how about I save you loads of precious time with my professional organizer forms pack, 9 done-for-you customizable forms, including a client agreement, so that you can start taking paying clients ASAP. And don't miss my ChatGPT prompt guide with over 750 prompts to optimize tasks like social media captions, blog posts, and more, engineered for success every time. Again, visit ispeakorganized.com/courses to explore all these options and more. Are you ready to take the leap? Visit the link. I know you want to. Tip number 2 is to sit in the front row. I know that can be hard. The first, 4 rows, try to get there early and have that front row energy, because front row energy equals front row results, my friends. There was a study done that's sort of unrelated about exercise classes. People that stand in the front row of an exercise class on average burn like between 10 and 20% more calories than people standing in the back. I don't know why. Maybe you're closer to the instructor, there's more energy in the room, whatever it is, but because you can't hide and grow at the same time. If you're sitting in the back, you're more likely sitting with your friends, it's harder to hear, you don't hear the questions as well from other audience members. You may find yourself like scrolling Instagram and not really able to engage as much. You're not going to be seen as easily if you want your questions answered, those 3 burning questions that you're going to ask, right? So sit in the front row and that will kind of force you to be more engaged. You're going to be more visible if you check out. And so you obviously won't do it as easily. Next tip, ask the question. Especially for me, like if you ever come to see me speak, you come to one of my workshops, whatever, there really are no dumb questions for Q&A. Like if you are brand new, use that time as your free coaching session and just ask the question. Stop leaving them on the table. Stop letting Google do it for you, because Google's not going to give you the answer that you wanted. Otherwise you wouldn't still have the question, right? So ask the question, even if it seems dumb. I am here to tell you right now, personally, as a coach and as a speaker, I love any and all questions, even if I've answered them 15,000 times, even if I talked about it already in the presentation. It's okay to come back and circle back to it and reframe it, rephrase it, answer it again. Sometimes our brains need to hear the answer to a question in a setting multiple times before we grasp and understand it. So ask the question. Next tip, talk to the sponsors. You guys, it's so awkward because a lot of times the sponsors will be sitting there in their booth in the hallway as you're getting ready to go to a session. And sometimes it can feel like they're trying to take your money or they're trying to get you to sign up for their program or whatever it is. Like, lean into the opportunity to chat with them, get their information. Even if you really don't have any interest in working with them, at some point find interest in working with them. And it's a good idea to kind of get to know them anyway, because they can be partners for you. They can become sponsors of your business, which is an additional revenue stream. I've met several sponsors at conferences before that now, pay me money to market for them and all kinds of things. And I find companies that I didn't even know existed that I'm able to refer to my clients for business, different closet companies and organizing products and things like that I never would have known had existed, that just help elevate my expertise and my knowledge and what I have to offer to my clients. So even if you don't think you have any interest in them, go talk to them. You don't have to put the blinders on as you go go walk to your meeting room, you can talk to those folks outside and find some really, really wonderful opportunities. Okay, next tip is to organize your takeaways. A lot of times people will show up, they'll have the notes app on their phone, or they'll have, just a plain journal, and they'll be brain dumping. And then you don't ever really go back and look at those notes ever again. You may have processed them mentally to a degree, but it really does help to turn every single note into a clear action of what am I going to do differently? What is my goal at the end of this? One of my favorite strategies is to use ChatGPT for this. And if you don't want to sit there and type it all out, you could even dictate. You can hit the microphone button on the ChatGPT feature and read your whole brain dump, and then have ChatGPT help you come up with actionable steps. Pull out patterns of things you wrote down. There's probably things that you were really focusing on, and it can help kind of extrapolate those details and figure out what it is that you want to have as that actionable next step or goal. So definitely take all of those notes and try to organize them, since we're organizers, into a good strategy for you moving forward so that you actually are able to take action on all of the notes you took. My last piece of advice here is to try your best to make one connection per day. Because at the end of the day, the conferences really are about the people. It's not about the strategies and what you're going to learn. I think a lot of people go into a conference, they go into a workshop thinking that this is going to be the magical moment where I'm going to have that light bulb go off, and they're going to just say everything that I need to hear, and I'm going to get the step by step, and the angels are going to sing, and all the fireworks are going off, and that really just doesn't always happen. A lot of times we come in and we tend to say a lot of things that you may already know, and you just need that reminder, or maybe there's that one little nugget that doesn't make sense in the moment, but it really makes a big difference. And it's just the little things that stack up on top of one another. But primarily, the biggest benefit is the networking, the community that you create, the people that you get to now call your friends that live all the way across the country that you can text or call at 3:00 in the morning and say, I'm having a really slow season. What's it like for you? What are you doing? You can bounce ideas off of each other and hold each other accountable, lift each other up, and build that support system and find your tribe. That really, truly is one of the biggest benefits of a conference. And it's not about going out to dinner and standing up in front of everybody and introducing yourself and all these icebreakers a lot of people go to at a conference. For you as an introvert, maybe it's just finding that one empty seat at a table and sitting down and talking to one person. And listen, if you ever go to a conference and I'm there, come talk to me. You can always come and ask me questions. You can always come and sit with me. I will make space for you to sit next to me, whatever it is. Just don't be afraid to make one solid connection per day, because that person could turn into a lifelong friend, and they're just sitting right next to you right now. All right, my friends, as we wrap up, I just want to thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today on the Speak Organized podcast. I hope you got value out of today's chat, and feel free to comment down below. I would love to hear a takeaway of something that you know you're going to take with you the next time you go into a conference setting. And let me know if you're planning on being at any of the conferences that I'm going to be speaking at. If you follow me at I Speak Organized on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the things, I will always keep you up to date on everything that I have coming up for the season. So definitely be sure to connect with me on social media so that we can stay in touch and maybe meet in person in real life. That's my favorite thing to do. That's why I love this industry so much, is you, the people that I get to meet in real life and help and hang out with. So with that being said, we're gonna make a pact right now. We're gonna shake on it. We're gonna promise ourselves that the next time we go into a conference setting, now we're equipped with that knowledge of kind of how it works on the back end. We're going to try our best to focus less on the flaws so that we don't miss the gold. We're going to focus on the things that we can control, how we show up, what our goals are, how organized we are, that one person that we're going to reach out to make a connection with. And we're going to stop focusing on the things we can't control, the bad coffee and all of the just the little inconveniences that sometimes shape our experience from start to finish from a conference. We're not going to let those little things define the success of how we show up to a conference anymore. Okay, so deal, we're going to shake on it right now. And I hope to meet you in person sometime soon. Again, if you got value out of this, please hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. If you're an Apple Podcast user, you can give this a rave 5-star review. I would be so grateful. And if you want to work in a coaching capacity, go to ispeakorganize.com/courses, where you can check out my organizing membership program. It's a monthly membership program where you can work with me live twice a month, and you have access to all different types of lessons, everything having to do from how to price to what your LLC structure looks like and how to promote your business and marketing techniques and all different kinds of things. We cover it all in there. And you're also welcome to work with me in a one-on-one capacity as my calendar allows. Beyond that, I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I hope that this has been helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.